it says headline. The heading is headline.
Sure, we'll do that. All right, so I'm joined by Josh Weiner. Josh was my producer at the Today Show. He's still a producer at the Today Show. And a lot of our material we share with print. So we're driven by print headlines. Print is driven by TV headlines. We kind of all share the space, especially when there's one big story. We all try to find a way to stand out. So we were gonna read off some fun headlines. Well, not fun headlines, but headlines. But I have to say I was a little disappointed in the Daily News headline for Carrie Fisher's passing, beloved princess. And I like the Post better.
The Post was
she was a
force.
That's actually better. So we're going to discuss some headlines, but if you have a question about the Today Show, anything like behind the scenes stuff, in front of the scenes, to the left of the scenes, to the right of the scenes, any scenes whatsoever, Josh is the guy to ask. We're on for another 15 minutes, and then he goes bye. So ask, like whether we can answer or not, we'll try, but jump in and ask, and Lance, you let us know when someone has a question. Anyway, I wonder if does print spend as much time with their headlines as the Today Show does?
Print spends a lot more time because I think the headlines are what sell papers.
Okay.
I mean, I think it depends on the paper. The New York Post obviously is like king of the headlines, and so many people know the Post because they have full-on liberty to come up with like headlines that nobody else could get away with.
But how or why?
Well, there's an art to writing the Post headlines.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they do sarcastic, irreverent, witty, offensive headlines.
Yeah.
They can do crazy play on words.
Is there anything
Today is pretty straight up. Today is just, she was a force. So it's not a good example. But, I mean, the Post can, they can really...
it's a lost art, sitting down and just picking up the paper and reading it. And there's something to it. I like it. I haven't done it in so long.
It's nice to actually have a paper.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. George Michael had recent heroin ODs.
So here's the thing, the report. You know what? This came out at least the night ago. It was a source, an unnamed source, was quoted in a number of the British newspapers like The Sun. Now, these aren't necessarily the papers that have the credibility of many others, and I don't think it's fair to report a source says that without doing their own research. I think we really don't know, and to put that out there that he had a heroin problem is irresponsible and unfair.
I believe it. No, I'm just kidding. I was trying to be funny. I don't believe it. I mean, whether I believe it or not, he's had troubles. They showed some pictures of him recently. He was all bloated. He was really, really unhealthy.
He wasn't that bloated. He gained weight like anybody in their 50s. He wasn't that bloated. He didn't look that sickly. He looked like a lot of guys in their 50s, and that doesn't mean he had a heroin problem.
Okay, I think that's fair. Well, tell people how you.
Brad Pitless actually has a question of how do you tell the difference between fake news and real news in your job?
I mean, you look to the source, but a lot of, just going back to this example, is there's a lot of actual newspapers like The Sun. I mean, I'm not terribly familiar with that paper. It's a British newspaper. But you want to look at where their information came from. So they were reporting this. It was in the headlines. It was heroin. But then it said, according to a source, they didn't give a name. They didn't say, a source with insider knowledge or a neighbor or any details. So you always want to look at that extra layer.
Right.
And as far as telling the fake news, I mean, like anybody, when I'm on Facebook or any social media, if it's something that I don't know, I click on it to see if it's a news site that I'm familiar with. Because a lot of this fake news has similar names that sound like news.
Goggle instead of Google.
Yeah.
Right.
Or there's like the Daily Beast and the Huffington Post. They might do the Huffington Most or something like that. I mean, it is really, you need to double check. You got to click on the source and really look and make sure that's the actual one.
Sure, that's a good answer.
Darren's actually asking, are People and Us Weekly in a similar category to the Inquirer for your purposes?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I would say both People Magazine and Us Weekly we work with People very regularly, and People's excellent at their journalistic integrity. People Magazine is up there, and I know they have sort of like those poppy tabloidish headlines sometimes or covers, but they do their homework. And Us Weekly does too. I think you probably like report on People before Us Weekly, but both of those are relatively well regarded.
Great question, Darren.
Yeah.
Darren had another question for you, which is, how many hours a week do you work?
You know what? It really varies. I think, and Jenna understands this as well. When you're in the news business and in TV, so you don't necessarily have set hours, and sometimes maybe you're not working on a ton of things, and you can work like kind of an average week, like a 9 to 5 day.
But give them a tough week when it's
but then if you're working on and Stephanie is a great example of this. When you're on a story and it's happening and it's breaking news and you're sent out into the field.
Second.
No, you're there, it's day and night, you may get a few hours of sleep and you're back on, and that means you have to have your phone on overnight, and it's sort of like, it can just go for like 4 or 5 days non-stop, and that happens. Not all the time, it goes in waves, it very much goes in waves.
It's tough, it's hard.
Yeah.
Tony Kendall is actually noticing that today we're breaking in between segments. This is going to be our new approach here.
Instead of doing 4 straight hours on Facebook, we're going to put each individual segment up on Facebook. Are you glad to know that?
Well, I know that. I like that, because if I click on something, I'm not going to necessarily have the time to sit and watch for an hour or more than that. But if it's like a 15, 20-minute segment, that's perfect. And if it has a theme,
then you like it even more.
Well, yeah, it gives me a reason to click on it. Like, oh, I want to see that, or I'm interested in that, or that sounds fun.
Right.
Marika Fitness is actually asking who does the paintings. We're going to be putting the painting up.
We keep saying that. Are we going to actually do it?
We're doing it after the show.
After the show, we're putting this painting. This is Lance's painting up for auction on eBay for $1. Go under Jenna Wolf on eBay, or Jenna Wolf Show on eBay, and this will be on auction for $1.
It's really cool. That's a beautiful.
And he also did these two.
I know. I love these. I really love these.
Cool. Nice
What
job,
medium
Lance.
do you use, Lance?
I use house paint. So my second boss after I worked for Mulhern, actually I worked at Neuberger Berman. Roy Neuberger had financed Jackson Pollock, and I had Jackson Pollock sitting in my office.
And actual
Jackson Pollock, and I looked at it all day long. And one day I just picked up some house paint and went for it, and eventually it got better than it was back then. Char Nolan says this is like a good radio show, almost NPR.
Can you close the blinds, Lance?
Yeah. Okay. If Lance needs more cigarette butts, I can send some from my coworkers for his paintings. Thank you. I actually. Okay. So how do you stay positive about getting older? Let's say 30 and above is old. How do you stay happy? How do you stay so happy?
It's because life has nothing to do with numbers. It's not about age. It's about it's not about years, it's what you put into those years. So I have 2 children and an amazing partner and amazing friends and an amazing coworker. Okay, that's good. And that's how I stay happy and positive. It doesn't matter how old I am. I can be 50 or I can be 20. If I'm a 20-year-old with nothing going on in my life or a 50-year-old with everything going on, I'd rather be 50. See?
Oh, Darren.
Best friend.
Darren was saying, and an amazing producer,
And an
an
amazing
intern.
producer.
He's not an intern. He's actually
Connor.
Connor. So if you're 39, no kids, no wife, how do you feel? How do you feel happy?
Well, maybe that's not what makes you happy. Figure out what makes you happy and go get it. You don't have to be married with kids. Josh isn't married with kids, and he's very happy and fulfilled, aren't you?
Yeah, and there, by the way, I think there are plenty of people married with kids who are pretty
We're
unhappy.
very unhappy, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's many people. That same question could be like from someone like, "You're married with kids.
How do you stay
How do you stay happy?"
Right.
Thank you. Just feeling blah and scared about 40. Trevor, life goes on, man. Have a good time. America Fitness says working out, good craft beer, great Mexican food, and Star Wars.
Yes, all of that.
Guacamole.
Guacamole. We gotta go back to peace food. Like soon.
Joseph Charles says, hey, Jenna Wolf, nice to see you. You're as beautiful as ever.
Thank you very much.
You are beautiful.
Oh, Josh, thank you.
Beautiful lady.
Josh, that's really sweet. You're very handsome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love your bracelet.
Cat
Do
Eye.
you want me to make a title?
Oh,
You're good.
Cat Eye. Cat
Yeah,
Eye
good.
Yesma says, love you, Jenna Wolf, since being on the Today Show.
Thank you.
Tony Kendall says, Tony Kendall poster, different things made different people happy.
Yeah.
Some people, right? What is Josh's feedback about plastic surgery for men?
My opinion on plastic surgery for
We
men?
get all kinds of interesting questions.
I think plastic surgery for men, I don't judge people who get it. I mean, I think it's fine if you want to get it. Sometimes you see people who've had, I mean, I think everyone would agree that the key to plastic surgery is if you can't really tell.
Right.
Sometimes you see people, men and women, I think it's sometimes more noticeable with men, and you're like, oh, they've had work done. Now, it may not look bad, but if you're able to say something looks a little off,
Then maybe
then
there's
not great. But I don't know, if people want to get work done, go for it.
Okay. Bless you.
That's, I think that's,
That's my aunt. She's coming. It doesn't look like the line is huge. Well, it's like the last day of Carnegie Deli, and my aunt and uncle are like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Carnegie Deli," and they showed up, and apparently the line is like a mile
probably
and a
through.
half, mile and a half long.
Dude, see, Darren actually has it. All I needed was the Jenna Wolf diet.
It's very funny.
America Fitness says, my sister-in-law has Botox and now we can't tell if she's smiling.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
It's the Botox.
Well, you got to assume she's always smiling.
Right. Exactly.
Man, you're smiling again, aren't you?
So happy.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going through. Are there more questions?
Well, Larry Cyrus is upset because Santa got stuck in his chimney.
People are having. a
I know
hard
we're
time
going to
with
do,
that.
horoscopes.
Go, yeah, do horoscopes. A lot of craziness in the news. Can't believe Carrie Fisher.
Darren wants to know if, when you say that is very funny, are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm not. If it's funny, I'll tell you it's funny. If it's not that funny, I'm just gonna look at you like the look I give Lance sometimes. Exactly.
Randy Boatwright says, I had to throw this in. My wife was eating a Jolly Ranch type of candy, not to attack a certain candy, but I showed her a live leak.com video showing it was made with pork gelatin. Do people know?
I think I saw that going around.
Darren saying it doesn't follow with laughter.
Well, maybe it's not that funny. There's some things that are very funny and I follow with laughter. You said something today which was like belly laughing. I was like actually belly laughing.
He says, ha. Do you like Russia?
I've never been to Russia.
Would you want to go to Russia?
Is it the first country I want to go to? No, but I would like to go to Russia at some point.
So Darren is saying he understands now, so I'm funny, just not that funny.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
Yeah, you're actually very funny, Darren.
I don't know why you're. Have you ever been to Houston?
I have been to Houston.
Karen Moore, right? Moore. Are you still a sportscaster?
I am not still a sportscaster.
I thought you were going to do push-ups for us or something motivational. To maybe reset for everybody what the show is.
I do it all show long. I mean, check out the first block. Check out every normal block. But today I had Josh on. Josh is my fellow colleague from.
For people on Instagram, it doesn't stay up, so to go check them.
Oh, so you go to Facebook or Twitter or Periscope and check out the top opening segments. We're doing this show live, the Jenna Wolf Show, every day, 11 to 3, simulcasted across Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, YouNow. We're on every day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 3. We do all kinds of fun things, including motivational talks and workouts and entertainment and politics. And we're talking to my Today Show buddy over here about all kinds of cool things. This is Josh Weiner. So yeah, we do a bunch of different things. It's a little echoey because we don't have our couch and rug in, but that comes in next week and then we'll be golden. Mm-hmm. What else?
Do you want me to read your horoscope?
Yeah, read my horoscope because then we're gonna wrap up.
All right, Jenna's horoscope for today.
Oh, you already know my birthday. That's why I love you, Josh. No,
Are you Pisces?
did they change it up?
You're Pisces.
Yeah, I'm Pisces. Yes, you do.
Patty Hamill saying she loves when Josh is on.
Oh, Patty knows when you're on.
Patty.
Pisces.
I knew it was February.
Have you ever done any commercials?
I did a Verizon commercial once, I think. Did that ever air? It was a radio commercial in Philly.
Randy Boatwright says the news is all opinion and party bashing. Now you should start a just news, no opinion news station, much like Live Leak. I mean,
Okay.
just like I guess like facts. Like
Yeah.
here's just news facts.
Here's what's happening.
I'm gonna read Jenna's horoscope.
Go for it.
Put yourself about between now and the turn of the year and let everyone know that you are back to your best. Tomorrow's new moon will inspire you to reach out to people whose outlook and objectives you share. Together you can move mountains.
I love it. Didn't really get most of the second half, but the part about me being my best again, I dig it. I'm all about it.
Darren is asking if the show needs sponsors to survive, or we have sponsors coming on board.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to sponsor can just contact me, lafer@gmail.com.
100%.
We actually are going with our sponsorships.
When does that start? Soon, right?
We have somebody coming in on Tuesdays. I think.
Tuesdays are
Yeah, we have a couple. We have a couple of sponsors next week coming in.
Great. Well, if you want to contact Lance, you can contact Lance. Lafer@gmail.
Just not Lance. Just contact lafer@gmail.com.
Just contact Lafer@gmail. Sorry,
A lot of people end up sending emails to lance@lafer@gmail.com.
That poor schmuck.
That poor schmuck.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a lot.
Concocted email.
Yeah.
Joshy, did you have fun?
I had a really great time.
We basically did 3 hours of live.
Darren's asking about our pricing. Darren, anybody for all that kind of stuff, you can just contact me and I'll.
Lance will discuss. I don't know how to talk about money or pricing. I'm not good at it. Tell me, give me some words of wisdom, encouragement, or otherwise, as we get ready to send everybody off.
Well, I think at this time of year it's a period where people are getting ready for the new year, and that's when everybody makes resolutions and all, my New Year's resolution. I think as far as resolutions, you shouldn't wait till the end of the year to do that. You should really just kind of live those resolutions every day and not say, okay, this year I'm going to do this. It should be something part of your regular life.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was it?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, did you think there was coming something? And that being said, I'd like to say, that's what I thought was coming.
No, but maybe this is a good opportunity to make resolutions.
Okay, so we'll make it.
Why don't we ask people, what are some of the resolutions that people are working on?
That's what we're going to do. Tomorrow we're actually going to talk about resolutions, tomorrow
Okay.
and Friday, because that'll be the end of the year.
Excellent. Darren's actually thanking his family because this period of time is a period to go run errands and stand online returning gifts. Thanks.
Oh, that's
for
great.
money.
So he's thanking them. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much. Josh was amazing. Next time you come on, I'm going to do all the same things, but even more of them. More prank calls, more mystery guests, more games, more looking into your deep, big, blue, gorgeous eyes. Have so much fun with Sandra Bernhardt tonight.
Thank you.
And
Such a pleasure.
did you have fun?
I had a great time.
I love you. You know that, right?
I love you too.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.